Jen. Well, I made it to London.
Getting from the United States to Europe was a pretty smooth process. It was precise, travel was pretty efficient. I seemed to arrive at places even earlier than I was supposed to. That portion of the trip was as smooth as silk. And I made it. It wasn't all super easy, but it's not as bad as it looks. Promise. I got to spend a bunch of time with my son at Oxford. He's doing his semester abroad there. And it's an unbelievable place. There's a lot of smart fellers at Oxford, and there's a lot of statues of smart fellers who used to be at Oxford, and they're all hanging out all the time together. The German portion of the trip was still pretty smooth, but instead of like silk, it was more like a cottage cheese fruit salad with some challenging inclusions. But part of that was getting a rental car figured out, which is a little bit challenging no matter where you go, no matter how you do it. But I was going to be on the Autobahn, and so I decided to make a car montage. So I'm going to go into more details about what I found while I was in Germany in the next video. I just want to kind of talk about getting back home from Germany, because that was something that I wasn't expecting to run into a couple of old egregores. The first egregore that I ran into was this conflict between the story that European travel is a well-funded and healthy system. That ran into another story, a contrasting story, that the workers in this system are systemically underpaid. And this conversation manifested in the form of a strike, which forced me to have to rebook. Because when the machine rebooked me, it was going to have me home about 3 or 4 days after I was supposed to get home. And being that I was short on laundry as it was, that didn't seem like a good option. So, got on the phone, rebooked my ticket, and managed to get a flight out that same night. I had to now get my stuff together quickly and return my car a day early and get back through the airport. So in the German airport, going through security, I didn't even think about what to put where, because I carried on all of my bags the entire time. You know, I have film equipment with me. I've got a tripod, I've got a boom pole, I've got cameras and microphones and cables and all kinds of stuff that, you know, a normal traveler doesn't normally carry around. But it wasn't an issue in Chicago. It certainly wasn't an issue in London. But when I put my bag through security in Germany...
Excuse me, what is the purpose of this boom pole?
It looks like it could be dangerous.
I can potentially see how if you were in East Germany in the 80s, somebody might nefariously try to say that this was something that it isn't. And yeah, I mean, it's fairly solid. You could take someone out, but like, it's not designed to be this sort of ninja telescoping thing, you know. It's designed to be it's tricky. It's a boom pole. You put it at the length that you want it to be, and then you hold a microphone with it. That's all it's designed to do. So it didn't take terribly long to convince these very enthusiastic young police. What I thought was interesting was the phrase that the police officer used. You know, he was flanked by his two friends, right? Male and female. When he decided to let me go, he captured my vision, like stared me in the eyes and said,
"You will be okay today, but next time you must check this in your checked luggage."
And even as he was saying it, I could tell both of us knew I was never going to see him again, and I'd probably never be through this airport again, and I certainly there would not be a next time. And what I came to realize is that in 1986, if I had tried to bring this onto an airplane, I would have been interrogated, certainly held, maybe imprisoned, and potentially, who knows, right? Like, scary times back then. But in 2026, though the echo of that fear-based narrative was still present throughout everything, and even the language was the same. The tonality of the language was different. This gentleman wasn't trying to correct my behavior. So what was he doing? What he was doing, he was echoing, I think, the compassionate part of that little message, which is, yes, we all live in this bizarre Kafkaesque environment of fear-based regulations that seem inhumane. And in this moment, right now, I am a person who sees who you are, struggling to get by in this system. And I'm going to make it okay for you because I see you. Don't expect this kind of behavior from other people because I can't be held responsible for other folks. But right now, right here in this moment, I'm releasing you. I'm giving you your freedom. I'm going to make your day okay. And you know what? I'll take it. I will absolutely take it. By the time I got home, I was completely thankful for the notion that I was able to experience a shadow of the exact same fear that kept me from visiting East Germany for the better part of my life. In such a safe and compassionate way, I was able to see how this shifted. Anyway, I thought it was fascinating. So by the time I got home, after all that time in the airports and probably not drinking enough water, I hit the cold air of the Midwest, and almost instantly, a teeny tiny itty bitty little cut on the inside of my nose formed and began bleeding. And because of low platelets in my blood, just never really, excuse me, it's still leaking a little bit, never coagulated. Normally I have nosebleeds. I've had nosebleeds since I was 5. Usually after a couple of hours, they're even the worst ones. After a couple of hours, they're dealt with. And I was so exhausted that after watching television for a couple of hours with the family, I went up and went to bed. By 10:30 that night, only a few hours later, I woke up in a pool of my own blood that was just huge. I mean, it wasn't a gallon of blood, but it was maybe a half gallon. I was upset because I realized that I probably was going to have to go to the emergency room. And when my wife saw what was going on, she had a full-up traumatic response. 5 years ago, when I went into my coma, it was because my esophageal varices had exploded in my esophagus, and I was vomiting up blood. And so the image of me covered in blood, with a big pool of blood right over there, just instantly brought it all back. And my son saw the same thing and had a very similar reaction. I was feeling all sorry for myself and didn't understand why they were not just rushing to my aid. It took me several minutes to realize what they must be experiencing. When I did, it became clear to me that I needed to reframe the entire experience because I feel fine now, you know. And so I made sure to explain to both of them, here's how this is different. I'm no longer drinking. I no longer hate my life. Things in my life emotionally are probably better than they've been in I don't even know how long. So yes, it looks like this, but the reality is it's this now. It's at the same place, but it's not this anymore. It's this. I'm coming out of it is all I was trying to say to them. You know, not like I'm completely healed, clearly, but it's a different thing. So like an echo of my incident occurred, and we were able to talk about it and laugh about it. And even though all of these things happened and it may not have been the smoothest trip, and, now I've got this thing hanging out of my nose, which is definitely not pleasant. I mean, they put a balloon up there to stop the bleeding. It's like having somebody stick a finger up in your nose for days. But it's healing and it's getting better. And I think the rest of us are too. So, was it a smooth and easy trip? No. But was it maybe one of the best trips I've ever taken solo? Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. At least on this earth.